The next day, I walk along the sterile hallways of the compound, my footsteps echoing in the vast expanse that is the white halls. There is cannon fire in the distance that shakes the walls of the compound itself, and then the alarm goes off. The comms blare. This is not a test. All faculty members escort the children to landing, pad 9. I hear footsteps, running, followed by the screams of other children. The charging of railguns and loud sonic booms echo from down the corridor. I run as fast as I can. I come across a map on the wall as my eyes frantically search for a landing pad. 9. I have to go through the gunfire. I gasp to myself. I look to the glass, and then to the sea under the floating compound, and then to the SOS kit on the wall. Then I look to the fire extinguisher. Not a good idea, but here goes nothing. I reach into the quantum realm and anchor my mind to it. I construct a mental bow from the fabric of probability. I pull back the fire extinguisher and release. The fire extinguisher zips through the air and slams through the glass window. I quickly follow to see the men raising his gun from the corner of my eye as he fires a shot that barely misses me. I snap the SOS kit to my hand as fall into the water. "Hello, this is Victoria," I say in the comm as I'm floating in the water. "Can anyone hear me?" "Loud and clear. Over." "Hang in there, we're coming to get you." "What's happening?" I whimper. "I think it is time we told all of you. The galaxy is at war, and has been at war your whole life. We made this program so that we may aid the people in the coming future. We took each species and cultivated their most neurotic fixations, so that they would bring forth the best their blueprint has to offer. Now you spread your knowledge. Use everything you know to infiltrate each faction's highest members. Become the head of each snake in the garden bed, where the citizens of the galaxy lay. Then we will control the galaxy, and there will be peace. You, Victoria, we feel will be the only one with their heart intact throughout all this." So they dropped me off at a refugee camp. They bribed someone to pretend to be my parent, and I became a citizen of the wayward Confederate. These people would be my subjects one day. For the mission, for the dream, the kids say in distant lands in unison. So I did what any kid in the slums of a refugee camp would do. I stole, lied, cheated, swindled. One day when I was going on 16, I swindled the wrong person. He was higher up in a crime syndicate. He told me I had two choices: join them and put my talents to use, or I die. Nobody would remember me, an orphan. I stood there unfazed, slowly, letting the weight of my decision up until this point sink in. Any life was better than this one, I thought to myself. And so I bowed as I clenched my teeth. I kept documentation of all their dealings. At that time I was sleeping with a recruit, the Intelligence Bureau. I simultaneously leaked information to him while outing myself as a traitor in the organization. When they tried to kidnap me, I killed the man and left a note on his desk telling him, "We took her. In this crime syndicate, they had a rule: never fuck with the Bureau." That night, when he went to rescue me, he found a lot with cutthroats and goons. They took one look at his cybernetics, shot him dead before he could draw his gun. In the following weeks, the Bureau raised hell and wiped that crime syndicate from the streets. They couldn't afford to look weak, especially in times of war. I tapped into the collective memory to find where the map for the syndicate's cash is stashed. After spending some years rounding it up, I bought a sizable noble title and invested in a ship escort business, all at the ripe age of 20. I had everything. Yet, here I sit in prison on trial for treason. My crime against the Bureau that caught up to me, but so did some other people. See, I had done something. I had made myself valuable, not by proxy of material possessions, but by my essence. They can't kill me, I know too much. I am capable of too much. There are only so many heads for headless snakes to go around. The days fade together in my cell, and eternity seems to pass. One day, in the blur of time, There are gunshots, screams, shouts, explosions, and then everything goes silent. I get up to peek through the cellar, and there I am greeted with a handsome face. "And who might you be?" I asked. "I am Requiem with the rebels, you mean the terrorist organization. Any man who saves his nation commits no crime." I get up and walk out of the cell with him to see his men in the hallways littered with bodies. The soldiers gawk at me. "Why are they staring at me like that?" "You're kind of a legend," he remarks. "I see," I said. Months would pass and I would be put on my first assignment, and here the tale would truly begin. The smell of gunpowder and the taste of metal linger on my tongue. Our boots crunch against the dirt of the plains of the valley. "We've got bogies at 10 o'clock, Sanya warns. "The question is, who would be this far out from the target location?" First, there is the smell of burning fuel. Then the sound of an engine humming coalesces with her words. "Get down!" I shout as bullets pierce the air around our heads, shredding the concrete above my head as I duck into cover. "Shit, shit, shit!" I panic as I cough from the dust and wipe it from my face. "How the fuck do we get out of this one, Victoria?" Someone yells as the rounds continue to burrow into the concrete. I whisper to myself, deep breaths, deep breaths. I mutter, "Withdraw and flank, withdraw and flank." Then I turn to my team. "Withdraw and flank. Elliot, Andrew, you provide firepower for the two groups. Kai, once we've retreated far enough, break off and enter that building on our 7. When we give the signal, open fire on the bogies using the armored car as cover. Once it's isolated, we smoke that motherfucker out and place the charge." Connor throws a smoke grenade, buying us a brief interval to establish fire superiority. The heavy gunners alternate with the squad as we retreat, laying down suppressive fire. We use a series of whistles to cut through the gunfire and signal each other. Kai gets into position. I tell them to hold their fire. The Bureau advances using the smoke as cover. They don't know we have a sleeper behind enemy lines. The armored car emerges from the smoke, its engine roaring as if it were some sort of iron beast. Kai opens fire on the men, using the armored vehicle as cover from their flank. His bullets rip through them, leaving their innards on the hull of the vehicle. The armored car's turret swivels, searching for Kai. It launches a volley of anti-personnel rounds. Kai takes his shield generator and places it on the ground to protect himself from shrapnel. It continues to fire. The building floor Kai is on begins to collapse. I run up to the vehicle, clutching a satchel, and place the charge on it. I break into a run and leap away, covering my ears as the turret turns toward me. Boom! The charge detonates. The armored car is immobilized, and its turret is now damaged. I come to my senses, disoriented from the explosion, ears ringing, my breath ragged, and my vision blurred. I reach up, checking my body for injuries, only to realize my arm is missing. I grab it before anyone can see me through the smoke and place it on the wound. The nanotechnology that I'm made of reassumes its form. But I'm too late. Kai is looking dead at me. I immediately tune into his thoughts. What is she? To think I was going to con... I close out his thoughts. That was all I needed to know. Time to scramble, I say. We gotta hack that relay. Kai, I'll explain after dinner tonight. He nods. Sanya, what do you see? I say into the comm. You got shit, they are up here. Come and get me, you bastards. I hear through the comm as gunshots echo from the rooftop she's on. Then we hear static from the comms. They begin to try to save her, but I shout, you would be doing the people who hope for a better future a disservice. You'd be disrespecting the faith they placed in you. If we get the data, they'll use her as a bargaining chip. When that happens, we will have the upper hand. No need to negotiate. We need a spotter to press forward. I can scout and tag the old-fashioned way. I go ahead of the others. A maze unravels before me. I place charges on the armored vehicles and on the wall that contains the room with the data. I mark every boogie. I am the premier. We've got 3 pods of 10. That's 30 enemies, guys. I hear a heavy silence. How? We circle around the back of the compound, descend from the mountain, and blow the back open. From there, it's CQB leaves one of the tanks unassisted, and they funnel their way into the building from the front to open fire with the beam Gatling. We are the ones inside, and those who make it will be pinned. We can then flush them out. Okay, Victoria. An hour passes by, and I see them descend from the mountain. I get up and hug the group. They look at me confused. I just need this right now, that's all. All right, let's get into position. I start the timer for all the fisters and the charges. 3, 2, 1. The wall blows open. The tanks light up the skies and begin to rain debris. The people in the compound run toward the building, and the tank opens fire, its beam Gatling punching holes through them as if their flesh were paper. Those who make it into the building don't realize we're behind them. The hallways echo with screams. Men, some pleading for their lives, others simply laying down their arms. We take no survivors. The ones in front of the tank's targeting system begin firing through the windows and the exterior walls of the compound at men who are taking cover. It launches its missiles, blowing holes that reveal long, stretching corridors where men are grouped together. It swivels around, forcing the men to abandon their cover. I see them run. I take aim and shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men. Shock and awe, a fire maneuver, and a pincer, all wrapped up in one little gift. We make our rounds in the compound, killing any survivors. We hack the data station and get out before reinforcements arrive. Sanya was nowhere to be seen. I stand before the Council of the Rebellion, powerful seers, generals, and lastly a former member of the Order of Light. He looks at me, nods, and raises his hand. May peace be upon your soul, he says. I nod back. Which path will you walk? The prophet, the general, or the warrior? I mull it over in my mind. You mean to ask under whom you wish to train? I think about the obsession with knowledge I had during my childhood. To me, the answer was obvious. Then I said, these are not equal in weight to each other. What is a general without the prophet's vision to guide him? What is the warrior without the general's vision to guide him? Yet from the bottom up, the general cannot exist where there is no warrior, and the prophet cannot exist without a boundary that carves out a history for a people. Very good answer, he says. You have given us much to ponder, young one. What are you? Do not lie. I shy away from their gaze. I am a human, or at least an approximation of one. They pull out their guns. The seer stands up, the creatures known to bear the burden of progress. Such blasphemy. Everyone knows they are extinct. They gave many gifts to the galaxy, yet they challenged the divine order itself. I take off my helmet, revealing my fluffy black hair and cold gaze. The seers bow, the general bows, and lastly, the Knight of the Order of Light bows. In unison, they say, may entropy make its way into this galaxy once more through its avatar, so that new grass may grow under the dying tree. Please, free us. What must be done? There are archons, demigods if you will call them such. Each has an aspect of your dead god Yahweh. You must go to Kasari if you are to gain the power required to fight this battle. There, the statues will speak to you. I ask, what if I am not worthy, as my posture weakens? Then you will become worthy, out of necessity. We're descending from orbit into Kale, and the planet is nothing short of beautiful. The pink birds contrast against the backdrop of white clouds. The lush greenery dances, ebbing and flowing with the marshes as the blue sea merges with the red hue of the sun. The white flowers and the insects, forming various patterns as they move from plant to plant, complete the scene. Kai looks at me. I've never seen so much green, I say. We step off the ship and are greeted by 4 figures. I notice their robes, then the pendants hanging from their necks. Gnostics, I mutter to myself. And does that make us evil? It means you're no friend of mine. You people ruined my life. Look around you at what has become of our love for a fellow man. Our dream for a better tomorrow has betrayed the love of the present. We swap out our fellow man arbitrarily, as if he is in service to the vision. It seems that, to each other, we are vague apparitions that can be molded and shaped to our desires. I blame the idea of heaven for this, I say. Indeed, the devil fooled us all. We have been taught that to find our spirit, we must look outside ourselves. The answer was within us all along, separated by time and space, yet connected by a divine blueprint. Everything is within and without. I believe there is an essence that binds and shapes us. This cannot be understood solely through quantum mechanics. There are fluctuations in the locality of particles in the universe. At some point in time, it becomes more probable, by chance or by design, that particles organize themselves in certain areas as they oscillate in and out of existence. You must understand, everything is everywhere all at once. Everything is within you and without you. Understand that physical matter is an illusion based on electrons oscillating at rapid speeds to give the appearance of solid form. But make no mistake, this solid form is merely a series of attractions and repulsions. In this sense, the universe is a hologram, still physical, still real, but functioning as a hologram. Everything is within and without you, O daughter of the morning star. It is one thing to understand this, but another to feel it in your heart, in your body, in your mind. And now we will help you look within to face your devil, so that you may comprehend the vast expanse without. Their sunken eyes, veiled beneath their looming hoods, remain unreadable. I search their faces, desperate for any flicker of emotion, a smirk, a twitch, a hesitation, anything to show they are not just stone idols in human form. Nothing. They stand unmoving, impassive, watching. Something hot rises in my chest, burning away the cold. How do you know this? My voice is lower now, the words coming out slowly, as if tasting them might change their meaning. Where did you hear this from? The monks do not answer. I take a step forward. My hands tremble at my sides, clenched so tightly that my nails dig into my palms. Tell me. My voice echoes against the stone walls, swallowed by the weight of the temple's silence. A long pause. Then one of them tilts his head ever so slightly. If you want to know, you will work for it. His voice is like a whisper through dry leaves. Leave your rifle with your friends. I stop breathing. I glance down at my rifle. My fingers twitch over the grip. The familiar weight grounds me, reminding me that I am here. I am real. I am armed. But I do not move. When you leave this place, you will not need such toys. Toys. My throat tightens. The rifle feels heavier now, as if the metal itself resists being cast aside. I blink dash, and they are gone. The monks fade like smoke, dissolving into the air as if they had never been there. The silence that follows is deafening.